probably were not privy to it, even if they were fans in the old days. Pre-show to the CMS was a very different animal back then.
Yeah, because we're working with very new technology.
Y'all want to know why I was so much angrier on the show? Yeah. Part of that was that I had a wife that I fucking didn't want to be married to and didn't want me to be married to her. The other part of it was the 2 hours of technical horseshit that Neely and I would do going into the show.
Yeah, because the voice over IP technology was not developed, and we were actually working with it to make it work for us.
Yeah. But I mean, it was hours of, okay, talk again. Okay, talk again.
Because we were getting echo and we were getting dropout and we were getting, all kinds of problems. And I was trying to adjust the equipment to compensate for those problems.
It was and I was drinking a lot during those shows. And I was like just drinking. I'm getting drunk. And meanwhile, you're going, take it up half a click. Take it half a click. Take it back up a quarter click. Now take it back. Now let me try one more time. And I was like, just fucking pick. But in fairness, as much as it drove me nuts, we would get to doing the show, and 99% of the time it sounded right, even though the technology was way archaic.
Yeah, it was very archaic.
Dude, I mean, even before Skype, you remember that software that we bought?
Gizmo.
Gizmo, but even before that, the first one that we used, it was like called IntelliPhone or something.
Yeah.
It was garbage.
Yeah, but the voice over IP was fairly non-existent, and we were trying to make it work 400 miles apart.
Yeah, and we did.
And we made it work.
It wasn't always great, but it's funny. I listen back to the old episodes sometimes. Like I'll just turn on the CMS radio network and I can tell immediately within 1 second when it was recorded.
Of course.
Even if I don't remember it, I can hear my voice and your voice, and not our voices. I think your voice sounds exactly the same as when you started the CMS.
Right.
I think my voice sounds completely different.
Yeah, because now but I didn't have the processors then, and I didn't have it all worked where it was all equal, and you sounded like you were here in the studio, and
but it's the technology though is so different now.
Oh, it is.
All the gear and just the ability to, I mean, let's face it. Let's from the early days when we were using IntelliPhone to now, we're literally doing video to video in real time that looks absolutely perfect now.
Yeah, and there's no latency and there's no delays, nothing.
It looks like professional video. I mean, us two don't look like professionals, but the video itself looks pretty fucking pro.
Right.
And it's such an amazing concept, and it's so easy now. There's when's the last time we did an audio test that we weren't at a gig? God, it's been years, right?
Yeah, it probably was when you first came back to the show was probably the last time we ever did anything like that.
And that was more because I had to buy microphones and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first came back to the show, it was literally me on a headset mic. I was doing it rev style, and then I had to get gear again because I didn't have any gear.
Yeah, you basically got rid of everything.
Well, I don't want to say I did, but it was gotten rid of.
It was gotten rid of, yeah. So you basically were starting from scratch.
Exactly. All I had was a fucking over-the-head headset in that first week, 2 weeks after the divorce started hitting, when I came crying back to the show talking about crying at Ted Nugent. Which I don't know, dude. You got to admit, that's a funny fucking segment.
It is. It's very funny.
It's pathetic as hell, but it is funny. Showed that me and you still had good chemistry.
Yeah. REO Speedwagon, Sticks, and Ted Nugent.
And me with the fake crying. Good stuff, man.
Can you believe that was 7 years ago?
7 glorious years.
7 years.
I know, it's great. I know, dude.
You've been back as long as I was on WSTB.
That's crazy. I've been free of fucking emotional pain for 6 years. 6 years with none of that. Oh,
Right.
That seems crazy to me. That 1 year of divorce seems like it went on longer than these 6 years since I got over it.
Yeah.
Now it just feels great. Now it's like, thank God.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and I roll over and there's nobody there. And I'm like, whew, what a break that is. Too good.
It is.
Dude, we rambled for an hour about nothing.
I know, but people want to know about our exciting lives.
But there's nothing exciting. There's nothing.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a whole different world than most people live.
I guess. What did we even talk about in this hour?
We just talked about Indians and we talked about bullshit and talked about safety and guns and, philosophy and how we live. And
yeah, what do we call this? Bullshit?
It's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Jesus Christ. More goddamn divorce stories from Chris Aiken.
Well, I'm not telling that many. I just said that I'm happy to be.
I want to hear how you cried at the REO Speedwagon show. Let me hear you cry. Come on, Chris.
Dude, you haven't heard, Bob, you haven't heard that segment?
Cry for me.
Bob, you didn't listen to that segment?
I heard it years ago. You've done that segment many a times.
Yeah.
I just caught on just now.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, Bob is back with Skull Sessions, Neely.
Yeah, I know. He's invited me and you to participate in upcoming shows. I guess you're already booked.
Am I?
Chris is already booked for Thursday.
Yeah, with Neely's nemesis.
I see you basically rolled with it, Bob. I saw your Twitter responses that no, I didn't school anybody. It was just a bunch of guys just having disagreements, but it was cool.
Can I make one point here? Hold on 1 second, Bob. I just want to make one quick point here. This was the first time ever that Neely started a fucking social media war with anybody.
I know. I expect that from Angry Aiken, but not from Neely.
Yeah, but I was fully in the Nalbandian corner on that one.
I do. I appreciate that, but I was, it was just guys busting balls and being a passionate metalhead.
Yeah, but at least I text you ahead of time to know that there was a storm brewing, possibly.
That's always good. That's why I love the controversy. It'll be great to have Chris and Michael on together. I think it'll make for a fun episode.
Yeah, I like the responses though. Nobody schooled anybody.
Yeah, pal.
What
I think that was my response, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just like schooled. I don't think so. It's like, yeah, dude, I watched it. Bob came in and just wrecked you guys.
Did I? I didn't I didn't see it though. I just thought I was giving my opinion.
You were, but your opinion was so much more alpha dog.
I gotta agree with
was calling you alpha dog Nalbandian.
I gotta agree with Neely.
It was funny, and they love the fact what I said about the Kiss fans. I mean, Michael said, "Oh, dude, that was great. That was like made for the best podcast." And I'm sure a lot of Kiss fans got, but dude, that's what I mean. Some of the nerdiness of the Kiss fans, especially these 50-year-old fans that get so uptight, and what I was saying is so true about these fans. They, they'll bitch and complain, but they'll still pay for the shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Gene's just sitting back laughing at these fuckers.
Yep, you're absolutely right on that, dude. Yeah, that podcast should be fun. Yeah, I guess I could probably ask you off air, but I'll ask you on because what the fuck? What are we talking about? Are we talking about Kiss?
Well, no. What I was thinking about doing is, because he's a big guy in social media marketing. He's worked with, he worked a lot of the stuff with Kiss. He started the VIP packages with them, worked it with Alice Cooper,
right.
And he's all into the new business model of social media marketing. I met with him. He's actually working with Jason Becker. I'm going to meet with Jason Becker. I'm supposed to meet with him next Saturday. We're going to do a little interview, try to see if we could do an interview and have either his mom or dad translate, see if we could actually squeeze that into, even though we're in the middle of actually editing the San Francisco thing. If we could get Jason Becker on there as well, we'll add that in. But he works with Jason. He works with a lot of people, but he does a lot of the new media marketing stuff. So I think we'll talk about, I think, basically the the current state of the music business marketing and stuff. And you being a big dude in the tech business, I think it'll make it for an interesting conversation. We'll see. We'll just kind of see where it leads.
Well, Bob, I just want to remind you that the Classic Metal Show is the first people to give Jason Becker voice.
Well, that's true. Your own voice, right? Your computer voice.
Yeah, we ran his answers through the little computer thing, and we did an interview, and we pre-recorded the interview and gave him a chance to have his answers read by a computer to give him voice.
I heard that, and because I was thinking, I heard that episode. That was actually cool. And I mean, to do a podcast, an audio podcast, you kind of got it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, believe me, that was not all received with love either. There were a lot of people thought that we were disrespecting him, and I was like, "What the fuck? We just put a voice to it."
I work with. What's that?
I was like, "What? What do you want us to do? We're doing a radio show." We tried to give him a voice. We he was kind enough to blink out his answers, and we took the answers and put them to voice. I didn't see why it was disrespectful at all, but we got a lot of heat for that.
It's disrespectful because I'm thinking about how else would you be able to utilize it for a radio show.
Do you remember that, Neely? We took a lot of heat.
I thought it was pretty clever using the technology of the time to do that. And boy, people didn't like that at all. And it was just like, listen, we're just giving this guy a voice.
Yeah. It's not like we were making fun of him. We weren't.
No, I listened to the episode. I thought it was great. I was thinking, oh, okay. I didn't know if when I heard it, I didn't know if that was coming through Jason's end, if like the parents set it up through a computer voice to make it sound like that. I didn't even realize that was you guys doing it until you talked about it afterwards.
Dude, it was such, and I'll explain how we had to do it. It was such a pain in the fucking ass. It was, I emailed the questions to Jason. Jason took a week, 2 weeks, whatever it took to send the answers back. I then had to take the answers and save every sentence into a different Word file and then input each individual line into a voice thing. And then I had to take all those recordings and edit the fucking thing together. It was a bitch. but it was worth it.
Right?
Oh yeah, that was 10 years ago at least.
Yeah. It would be different now. Now it could just read the email and it would have been fine. But back then back then it didn't understand punctuation, so it would just keep reading, and it just wouldn't sound. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Holy crap! Yeah. Great.
Good stuff. Well, dude, as you could tell from my email today, Bob, I'm enjoying the Skull Sessions.
Oh, thanks, man. I thought it was a good, we wanted to kick it off with a good 5 episodes just to let people know that we're back and we're serious. And, Monty's going to be a big part of it. And, of course, Martin. And, we'll get the regular crew back on, the Joel MacGyvers and a lot of the old school guys. And we're going to have some fun with it. It's I got my partner, Matt, here with me. I'm actually at a studio now, and he made a little studio. He's going to do all the producing for it, like putting it up on all the we got it on Spreaker now. I guess we're waiting for it to get okayed or approved for iTunes and Spotify and all those others. So we should have it up on all those soon enough. But he's handling that end, which is great because me, I hate that technical bullshit. So and he was kept saying, dude, he was always a big fan of the Skull Sessions. And I kept getting, like I said, after I ended Skull Sessions, I just kept getting emails nonstop about how to start it back up. And it's been, God, what, about 8 years, I think, since I did. I said, well, we got the movies under the belt. We're editing the Bay Area one now. And, now's the time to do it. So, yeah, we're just going to have fun with it.
Well, Bob, is Matt a real producer or is he a fake producer?
I don't know, Matt. Why don't you speak for yourself, dude? Are you real or are you fake? Are you like Ouija?
Well, only time will tell, I guess, huh? First time producer.
Nice.
First time producer. Old school New York hardcore, into the hardcore metal scene of New York. He had his own label for a while. He worked with Roadrunner. He's done a share in the music business.
I hear you. Well, Bob, who was on with Ian Christie?
Oh, that was Howie Abrams.
Yeah.
Dude. You know Howie Abrams?
I don't know him personally. I know Ian. I know Ian a little bit. It was good to see that the both of them bought their phones from George Lynch. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Well, you know, it was Ian's phone. Yeah, sounded a bit muffled. And then on the other ones, I was realizing, in fact, Matt brought it up. I said, you know, because Monty even said on his thing and Howie that, you know, there's this echo. And Matt said, dude, you know what it is? The echo's coming through your laptop, through your speakers. From the microphone.
Oh, yeah.
When they're talking, it's going through the speakers, creating an echo. So he said, just put on headphones and that'll solve the problem. So there you go.
Well, is he a Rush technician too, where he tested for echo?
I guess he is. Test for echo.
What are you doing the show on? Skype or what?
Yeah, we're doing it through Skype. We're going to probably do a couple, he lives right in San Lorenzo, and I just shot Craig LaCicero an email because he lives right in Hayward, which is like 5 minutes away. And so Craig says, dude, I'll come down and we'll do one. You know, so some of the local guys in the Bay Area will have come because he's got a great little studio set up here. So we'll do as many as we could in person if they're local, you know, and if not, we'll do it through Skype.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have you guys on for sure. I'm a big fan of the show, too, so it's great talking to you guys.
That's right. He knows every episode better than I do.
Yeah.
You got some New Yorkers into your shit.
Now, is this a union gig, Bob? Do you have to have a SAG card to be a part of the Skull Session thing, or is this like a freelance or what?
Yeah, you have to have a fag card. I mean, oh shit, I can't say that on your radio. I mean, you know, you have to have a SAG card. Yes, it is a union gig, Neely.
Well, you know, with the New Yorkers and all, I know how important that union affiliation is, especially if they're involved with the mob.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, out here is pretty much the same. You know, the Bay Area is very, very similar to that kind of shit as New York, right? So it's not much difference.
He's still trying to dig up Hoffa's bones somewhere.
I'm not Italian. I'm Irish. So
he's a part of the Irish. You've seen that movie about the Irishman, right?
Seen that it's coming.
That's all his relatives.
I know the Irish mob was big here in Cleveland. I remember that way too well. Ooh.
That's true. That was yeah. But they did have that one movie that already came out about the Whitey Bulger.
Yeah, Black Mass. That's from Boston. Yeah.
Right.
Well, dude, I'm sure you've heard our guy Scott Dietschy, our mob expert for the CMS mob expert.
That was a killer episode.
Yeah.
Did you hear that episode?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Yeah, we break ground everywhere we go, Bob.
You do, Neely. And you know what? And I've always told people that.
Not only do we interview music people, but we interview people about the mob. We interviewed Freeway Rick Ross. So we got drug dealers calling in for interviews. We do it all here, man.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
That was the all-time best, the Freeway Rick Ross. Bob, and you could probably relate to this. And Neely, I know you can too. The Freeway Rick Ross, I'm just a fan of anything that's related to selling drugs in the streets. I fucking can't get enough of it, whether it's a movie or a documentary or whatever.
That's how Chris supplements his income.
I wish, because they make a whole lot more money than I do fucking supplementing with stupid pinball.
Maybe not income, but in order to get head back in the day. But yeah.
Well, there's that too. But Freeway Rick Ross got out of jail and he wrote a book, and I bought the book, and I just happened to see that there was an email address, that was in the bio on Amazon for the book. And the email address was bullshit. It wasn't like it was a publicist. It was like freewayricky@gmail.com or something like that. And I was like, well, let me just fucking take a flyer on this and see if it's really him. So I hit him up and said I was a fan of the book and could we do an interview? I get an email back from him saying, yeah, but I need you to text me first. And he gives me his phone number. I text him. He texts me back and says, call me. I call him. I got him on the fucking phone. And I'm like, holy shit.
Is legit or?
Yeah, it was Freeway Rick Ross. It was the guy that funded the Iran-Contra scandal. And he's on my phone because I threw him an email.
How you scored that interview. I heard that interview. I'm like, how the fuck did Chris score this interview?
It was as out of the blue as it could possibly be. It was literally because I saw his email and thought, there's no way is that a publicist. And I just said, I liked the book. And, you know, when I talked to him on the phone, he asked me, he's like, well, how long have you had the book? And I told him I've had it about a week or so. And, you know, I'm like to this chapter and I've read this and that. And he was like, all right, well, at least you're real. I'll do it next week. Do you want to do that? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And sure as shit, the next week came, we did the interview. It was great. He cut that funny promo of you'd have to be on drugs to listen to this show, which is funny, you know, and there we had it. I had a fucking, a major player in American history on the show.
Dude, that was good. Did you see the documentary they did about him too?
Oh, dude, I've watched everything about him. I'm fascinated by that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a pro tennis player or
yeah.
Really. Yeah.
And he made so much money that he was buying houses in the neighborhood just to tear.
Just money he made back then. And, you know, yeah. I mean, I remember those days in the 80s and shit. And it was like,
yeah, he
said the ghetto to make that much money was unheard of.
And they said he was buying up houses, neighborhoods at a time, tearing out the drywall, filling the walls with fucking money, and then putting up new drywall. And that because he couldn't he couldn't hide the money. So he literally built houses with walls made of millions.
Wow.
Insane.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Well, they touched that on Blow. I think that movie Blow, but I think Freeway was doing it long before that.
Yeah. What's crazy about him is like all those other LAOGs that are famous are somehow related to him, like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and all these guys are somehow associated with this guy.
Dude, he supplied drugs to all of fucking South Central LA. Of course they're associated with him.
But I think a lot of them are like family members. Like Snoop Dogg is a family member to him.
Oh, really? Like relatives?
Yeah. It's a weird, like he shows pictures all the time on his, I follow him on Facebook, of course. And he has pictures all the time of him and it'll say, yeah, I'm here at my cousin's house for the birthday party. It'll be like Snoop Dogg or, you know, Be Real or somebody, you know, it's all these fucking people that are like sort of famous. It's like, dude, how'd that happen?
Yeah, you know, they're all related.
I guess. Jesus.
Right on. So what else you guys got going on tonight?
Well, now we're talking about Skull Sessions. I have to admit, dude, I very much, I mean, I was moved to email you this afternoon because I thought that you guys were all missing the point on the why bands peter out. And I think you sort of agreed with me, no?
No, I totally agree with you. Yeah, that wasn't really brought up. You know, it's funny because that podcast, you know, Monty and Martin, there's always like this feud. We have the email thread that we have with a bunch of different people, and they're always feuding. We got to go, and we said we got to get it back on the podcast. And rather than just going through one band catalog, we just decided to, you know, pick kind of a now and then, you know, when the band started out and from, you know, the latter stuff. And Martin would always prefer the latter albums, and me and Monty would just go, dude, you are nuts. What, you know? Yeah, and we would kind of think you're just doing it just to be different than everyone else, just to say that. But he really, truly believes in it, and he'll justify his belief in it. And that's what I love about Martin is he'll, you know, go into full detail about why he thinks some of those albums are better than the classic albums. So, dude, it's always a fun discussion with him.
I'm not going to lie to you. I was listening to this in the car today. I was out and about, and I had it on in my car. And when he tried to position, and I'll tell you exactly what he said. He said albums like Perpendicular that every Deep Purple fan loves and Abandon were better than In Rock. I literally yelled at my fucking radio in my car. I was like, look, I'm no Deep Purple fan, but I'm really not. I mean, they're okay. But I'll say this. Anybody of Martin Popoff's caliber with fucking 100 goddamn books proclaiming the expert of that era of music, to say that Abandon is as good or better than In Rock, he's insane. There's no justification for that.
No, he'll back it up. That's what we always blame him for that, but no, he'll back it. Well, he's a big production nut and about Well, no, he really, truly believes it, and he'll argue to the death about it. I mean, he'll send like 10-page emails of why it's better than why he feels it's better than and that's what's cool about him. That's why I love to get him on the show. And I was actually surprised Monty didn't blow a lid, because he usually blows a lid on that. But Monty kept it pretty sane.
Well, Monty just said, "I can't argue stupidity," and he was right. I mean, that was exactly Monty's quote: "Was I can't argue something that stupid."
Yeah.
And he was 100%.
Get into. He absolutely hates live albums, and I'm saying, dude, the live albums of the '70s were what those were the pivotal albums of hard rock and metal bands of the '70s. UFO, Strangers in the Night, Priest, Unleashed in the East, Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous. AC/DC, Kiss, of course.
Purple, Made in Japan.
High Performance, all those. Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on, dude, how could you say that? And he's just, I like the studio. I like hearing the band in the studio. He's very particular about what he likes, and but he'll back it up.
Yeah.
It's always a fun argument with Martin. So yeah, they're going to kind of be regulars. We got a lot of stuff planned coming up. We got something real big that we're just talking about. We just hooked up today, just kind of on a swoop, a photographer friend that came over that has a friend. I don't want to say it now because it's not confirmed, but if we do it, it'll be about a theme that everybody knows about culturally, not just in hard rock and metal. And you will fucking laugh. It'll be a fun one. But yeah, we're starting to get a lot of good stuff trying to line up. So yeah, the Skull Sessions is back. I'm at the same email, and right now it's on Spreaker. We're going to get it on some of the other podcast directories. Oh, the website's coming up. Is it? Yeah. The website's up.
Good.
These old episodes are on
ShockwaveSkullsessions.com. There you go. So
I'd like to thank you for asking me to help out with that, Bob. Appreciate that.
We can't afford the Chris Aiken the great Chris Aiken at the moment. We're going to have to start begging for dollars first before we can afford people like Chris Aiken. We're going to have to get out there and pander, right?
You got to shake the pan, Bob. Shake the pan.
Exactly, man. So please donate to us. PayPal, ShockwaveSkullSessions@gmail.com. I'm pandering on the CMS. We actually got donations already, which was really cool. We actually got some people that sent in, and we're giving them, for what they're giving us, we're giving them double in some merch and different stuff that we got. So. Right. Get some good stuff in the long run. But Matt, I mean, the website's just a real simple kind of. It just has the episodes up there and just a basic thing. But, good enough for now.
Hey, I was kidding, Bob. I really don't want to do your damn website. It's fine.
Sure you don't.
Well, good to hear from you, man. And I'm happy to be a part of Skull Sessions, and I'm enjoying what I'm hearing right now. I mean, I would very much like to give you a quick class if you have 5 minutes during the week to on a better way to record the Skype so that it sounds a little cleaner for you.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
I can help you with that.
Saturdays I come here. We're going to try to do some on weekends because he works during the week. We're going to do it in the studio, and he's got some real good mics here. So I think some of them will sound better, but most of them I do during the week just through my laptop on Skype. But yeah, I'll definitely.
All right. Yeah, I'll show you a couple of tricks on Skype that Neely and I have perfected through hour upon hour upon hour of fucking with this shit.
No, I would love to. Well, before we do the podcast, maybe on Thursday, I'll call you like 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before we could. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, Bob, have your people call Chris's people, and Chris's people will get back to your people, and you guys could work it all out.
We'll have my fake producer call your fake producer.
Nice.
Yes. And to answer your question about Howie Abrams, he worked at he started a label In Effect. He signed Prong and worked at Roadrunner. So he's a long time New York industry metal guy, especially with the hardcore metal scene and stuff. That was a little bit different for us. We usually do more of the classic metal, but we figured we'd get into more kind of East Coast, West Coast thing.
Right. Who did he sign or work with? Like Agnostic Front or Earth Crisis or who?
Yeah, another Prong. Who else was?
Yeah, from Prong. Sick of It All.
Sick of It All was one of his bands. Yeah. Then he was at Roadrunner for a while.
Yeah, he was at Roadrunner for a while.
In fact, he hooked up Monty Connor with his wife.
Oh well, there you go. So now Monty hates him.
Oh, yeah, he had the Metalist book, of course, too.
Oh yeah, he did a few books too. Yeah.
The Metalist books are cool, man. Those are those fast readers that you know. What's the top 10 Iron Maiden records from 1981 to 89 in order? You know, shit like that. It's always fun.
Totally. Absolutely. And then of course we got the Bay Area Godfather is being edited, as I said. We'll be getting that out soon enough. We have to change over the editors, but that's going well, and which is good because now everything's here in the Bay Area and local, and it makes it a lot easier. So that's looking real good, and things are going well.
When do you think that's coming out, Bob?
Well, I'm hoping before the end of the year, but seeing how, there's usually like a 3-month leeway, and I know Warren doesn't like to get it out around Christmas to like November, December.
Okay.
So he does it. So probably January is what I'm thinking. We're going to try to push before the end of the year, but realistically, just knowing Warren, I think if we get too late to the end, he's going to say, "Now let's do it the first of the new year," which is fine. They'll get a bigger push, that way. So. And that's what we end up doing with Band vs. Brand. I mean, Band vs. Brand was supposed to come out the October before, and then October and November before, and then it ended up coming out the beginning of the new year. So,
okay,
it's all good because it coincided with NAMM and the big screening we did that Neely came out to at the NAMM show, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and
man.
Eddie, that's right.
Well. Now that I'm going to be featured in this thing, hopefully 6 or 8 or 12 times like Neely in Band vs. Brand, I
get your ass down here.
That's why I'm asking, because I keep buying these fucking concert tickets at $300, $400, $500 a hit. I don't want to buy them and then miss a concert because I'm coming out to LA. So that's why I need to know.
I'll tell you this: for the screening, we won't charge you. You can get it free.
Thanks.
We were going to charge you $500 and plus do like a VIP package and feature my famous sword. I was going to sell you, and my famous bass guitar. I was going to jam down your ass. But
nice
for that.
This is the handkerchief that I wiped my brow with while I was in the editing bay.
Exactly. Yes. Well, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do like a little VIP package for the Skull Session. Why not, man? Make a buck. Learn from Gene Simmons.
Well, Bob, sounds like you're on an upward trajectory yourself with the return of the Skull Sessions and got a lot of good things going on. So we always appreciate all your work.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have fun with it, and again, the CMS listeners, they were like a lot of the people that kept championed the Skull Sessions. Got to bring that back, and they loved it. And we'll, of course, have you guys as regular guests. We'll have to pair up Neely with somebody good.
Yeah.
We got to figure out who we could pair up Mr. Neely with so we could get some really good bloodshed going.
I got an email about your appearance on Three Sides of the Coin from Ozzy Ace all the way over there in Australia there, Bob.
Yeah. Wow.
The headline in the email, it says, Bob stoops down on three sides of the coin. He says he stoops down. He says, love that intro on Bob, though. Did he get the Snake Man to write that up on his resume?
I didn't even know he had that. I guess that was from an old LinkedIn thing I had up on there.
Yeah.
I mean, the little intro he wrote. Yeah.
Yeah. He says, it sounded like Snakey's details about himself. Bob does like Snakey after all.
Well, I do hang out with the Snakey.
This is one podcast I do listen to on KISS, even though I could correct them heaps on the info they don't even know. I stumped that Mark guy over and over on the KISS cruise when I bumped into him, and what a fucking arrogant cunt he was as well. That was from Ozzy Ace.
Isn't that who I'm doing the show with?
What's that?
Isn't that who I'm doing the show with?
No, you're doing it with Michael.
Okay.
Michael's the main guy, Michael Brandvold.
Okay. I will say, because it's KISS and I'm not a fan, I'm not super knowledgeable on.
We're not going to concentrate it on KISS. I mean, we could bring up some, and I'll send you both in an email beforehand with some different ideas and topics we'll kind of discuss. So it'll be more about the, the current state of, the music business and whatever, podcasting. We'll talk, about the podcast,
Sure.
Bullshit. I'll try to get you guys,
Yeah, and if you want to talk about KISS, I will. I mean, I certainly know enough about them. I just kind of find them to be very hackish.
Yeah. Well, I think you and me both.
Dude, I've always looked to the point, and you could tell me I'm wrong, or Neely or whoever could tell me that I'm wrong, but I always thought the fact that their popularity went to shit when they took the makeup off just proved that the only thing that really mattered to people was the look, that the music really wasn't good or important.
I wouldn't say it went to
at least really though.
Yeah. Well, you know what they're, actually when they took the makeup off is when their popularity increased in the 80s.
For a minute, not for the whole 80s, because dude,
no.
Asylum and Crazy Nights, and those albums were dogs for KISS. I think Lick It Up, I think the novelty of seeing it the first time was there. But after that, when they had to rely solely on the music after the first record, the popularity went down to shit. That's why they had to put the makeup back on.
Well, yeah, that's what we said. It was all about the timing. They took off the makeup during the MTV era. They fit right in with that. And then they came back in 96, put the makeup back on, but that was all about the show. All the old-time KISS fans, they wanted, we want our old KISS back. So they came back, did the show. There was already a whole new generation of KISS fans that never saw them with the makeup. And even those albums with the makeup, as far as I know, they sucked. I don't think they sold many. Carnival of Souls or whatever. Lick It Up sold a hell of a lot more than I think any of the post-makeup or when they put the makeup back on those albums.
Yeah, those albums stink. Psycho Circus, and Monster, and
exactly.
Those records.
That's what we said. It was just all about marketing. They knew what, and it's the same thing. You could go back with the Van Halen era. They knew they did the era with Sammy during the late 80s, early 90s when they needed that change, and they did that, and then they got Roth back in because a lot of people want to see the old Van Halen again. So it was all about marketing.
Yeah. I think that, but my personal favorite KISS records are the ones without makeup. Is Animalize and Asylum are probably my two favorites. And,
pretty good. They had a couple.
But
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all that stuff, and I'm just not a huge fan of that whole, you know, Let Me Go rock and roll and, you know, Christine 16 and shit like, ugh, just stop it.
Now, I was all into the British. I was all, you know, Zeppelin, Sabbath, and Purple, and, you know, that, you know, Aerosmith, Nugent, a lot more. I mean, I it's not like I dislike Kiss, but everyone I grew up with were all Kiss fans, and we always had the argument. I was a Zeppelin guy then, and then got, you know, heavily into Blackmore, but we would always argue, you know, I'd say Jimmy Page is better than Ace, and they would go back, you know, and that was the big thing. It was like, you know, I always kind of looked at Kiss as more of a, you know, a kiddie band. That I thought I was more mature, like in some of the, you know, cooler British bands. But you're right. I thought even at that age, when I was 11, 12 years old, I thought the lyrics and the style was childlike and immature.
Yeah,
I still feel that way.
I do too. It's just clown music.
Yeah.
that's how I look at it. It's just clown music.
I thought the Creatures album was great. That's a heavy album.
Creatures of the Night. That's all right.
Yeah, Creatures of the Night. And Lick It Up, apart from the song Lick It Up, is a pretty heavy album too.
Yeah, All Hell's Breaking Loose. That's a pretty good song.
Yeah, it was kind of.
They're just one of those bands that has like one song on every record that's pretty good, and then the rest is really kind of filler. And some are worse, like Crazy Nights. It has literally, in my ears, one song that's even tolerable, which is I'd Fight Hell to Hold You. And then every other song on that record just sounds like garbage that would not make any other record by them. And they put that dog out and people went to the fucking tour.
Yeah.
You know, that, go ahead.
I never followed Kiss. I just knew the songs that were like pretty much on the radio and stuff. Like I said, I never bought their albums. I was just never that big of a Kiss fan. I just didn't get it. They didn't appeal to me. You know,
musicianship-wise, they're terrible.
Yeah, I mean, compared to
Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons are not good musicians. They're just not.
Yeah, or Ace or Peter.
Yeah. But what's your thought, Neely? I know you were more of a Kiss fan, no?
Not big. I've only seen them twice. I'm not that hardcore of a Kiss fan. I can take them or leave them. I know they have a few catchy songs and things, but am I a Kissologist? No, not at all.
So there you go.
Yeah, I'm the same way, pretty much.
Yeah, give me good bands like Bang Tango.
Yeah, Bret Michaels.
Yeah, Bret Michaels. You know you want it.
You know you want it.
You know you want it.
So Ozzy Ace giving me shit, huh?
Not really. He was being very complimentary towards you.
I didn't know if it was a complimentary or if it was. I couldn't tell by that. But
no, he's more or less saying that you lowered yourself to appear on three sides of the coin.
Stop.
I love appearing on those kind of shows, honestly.
I know, but you're held in such high regard here on the show that fans sometimes they get a overblown perception of the great Bob Nalbandian.
I get that. I understand. But the thing is, I love people, even though, like I said, I'm not a huge Kiss fan. I love and appreciate their passion for it. And that, that's like I say about Martin Popoff. I could disagree with what do you talk about? Saying bananas is better than rocks or in rock or whatever, but he is super passionate about that. It's not about agreeing or disagreeing. It's having just a good debate, a good, whether you agree or not. I kind of dig that. I think it's kind of more exciting than, people just agreeing on the same thing. I think that's kind of what makes for a good show.
Yeah. Look, no, I don't understand why anybody would say, nah, I'm not going to do that podcast. It's just more people to reach that you might not reach otherwise. I mean, you got a product to push, so you get on there and you push it. Yeah. And I had no idea. He's telling me, yeah, you're already up to like 4,000 views in just a couple days or whatever, so it's like, wow, I didn't realize, but I was going back on their podcast. I listened to, I would see some of their stuff because I know it's a fairly big podcast. I was just telling Matt, I go, wow, I just downloaded some of their episodes. They have people like Dennis Miller as a guest, and
Yeah, which is like, wow, that's a pretty big get, you know, and different people like that. I don't know if these guys were actually Kiss fans or whatever. Of course, he had, you know, a lot of the members of Kiss, but they had some pretty high profile guests on their show.
Yeah, they're definitely a bigger podcast. I just can't believe that they can't, for a podcast that does 10,000 downloads a week or whatever, you know, that they can't get 3 good mics. That's that. And honestly, I mean, I'm not a Kiss fan, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm not a subscriber to their thing. I check it out on occasion when they're dogging out the Decibel Geek guys or whatever, just because I'm friends with them and I like to see that radio war bullshit. But I just, for a podcast that big, I would honestly expect that they would have, you know, not just be using the speaker on their laptop, I guess. I don't know.
You know what it is? I think the guy, Mark, he's got a good mic. When I talk, because the problem is you have 4 people on at the same time. Everyone's talking over each other. And it's the person who has the best mic that's going to go through, usually when you do it through Skype or whatever. So I noticed, you know, I think Mark sounded good. I think I was talking through my laptop. So there was a lot of times you had to really be careful about talking over each other, because then you get that weird free echo thing that comes out, and it's just and that was the problem I had doing Skull Sessions. You might have remembered some of those old Skull Sessions. We had up to 5 people on, you know, and when you do that through Skype, it just, you know, it's too much.
Without getting all techie on you here, the reason is because Skype is a half duplex connection instead of a full duplex connection. So what that means is only one side can talk at one time. You know, it's technical, and the technical packets can only go one way at a time, either to or from. They can't go both ways. And what ends up happening is when 2 people talk at the same time, the packets hit each other, and you get that noise that just goes away, and you don't hear what the other person is saying. So you have to learn to just shut the fuck up till the other person is done, and then jump in.
Yeah, and that's hard to do when you're having like a conversation / debate, you know, and unless you know, have those stupid things. Okay, now you speak. Okay, what's your opinion on that? You know, which always sounds stupid and phony, but you know, yeah, no, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, bottom line, what do you want for something that's funded by nobody? You know.
Indeed. Yes. Well, it'll be fun to have you and Michael on. You could, I'm sure he'll listen to this podcast, or I'll send it over to him. He'll enjoy it. He's actually got a great sense of humor. That guy, I met him.
It's not a tumor.
County, and no, he'll be fun. He'll be a fun one to have. I see Chris is doing a. From Decibel Geek is in August they're doing another Rockin' Pod. Are you guys planning on going to that?
I'm undecided. I really haven't thought that hard about it yet. It's in August. I really wasn't aware of the date.
No, he actually gave me the date. I'll send it to you, because he was asking me. Because he saw that the Skull Sessions is back. He goes, dude, we got to get you to Rockin' Pod. And I'd love to go if I got time. I mean, I think it'd be fun. And, you know, I've wanted to do the last couple years, but it was just an expense thing and just time-wise. But if I got some time, I'd love to go out there and, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going. I mean, who's the guests? Anybody good?
Vinnie Vincent?
I don't think he's mentioned. Vinnie Vincent, yes. No, I haven't heard anything, but you know, maybe it'll be a Carmine and the Rockers. Who knows?
Yeah, I'll have to see. I mean, I would like to go. I honestly, since I kind of died out on social media, I really have not kept up with anything. I don't know what's going on fucking social media to follow anything anymore. I'm losing my grip on it.
You're a Gab guy now.
I am a Gab guy now. I use Gab a lot.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like I refuse. I was just telling Matt today, because he's going to do all the social media. I'll go on Twitter maybe once a month, and it's like I want to stick with one. I just started Facebook. That's what I'll do, just to promote, I've tried going on Reddit, following your stuff on other stuff, but it's like I don't want to sign and make another account. I think I got an Instagram account. I never go on. I went on there. I see all these different followers, but I think I've used it maybe twice over a 9-month period. So it's just I just hate all that garbage. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it too, but it's necessary evil.
It is, absolutely. Especially if you're doing business or promoting something. Yeah, it's the way of the future.
That's it. The way of the current. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should start our own Rick Ross business, be Freeway Rick, and start selling smack or whatever. We already got our Irish mob connection here, so.
Hey, I'm in. I've peddled my share of weed before. I could take a step up. Why not?
Well, we've heard, but we're looking for more than just getting blowjobs there.
Yeah, he wants something that pays.
Well, I do too. Now I'm old. Now I'd rather have money than some fucking dumb chick.
$400 doing gardening work. I'd hope you get a blowjob out of that.
Why is that? You thought that was a lot?
I don't. Well, you know what? I thought it was per month, and then I realized it was over I'm going, what the fuck? He's going to pay $4,000 or $400 a month to a gardener? But then I reread it, and I saw it was over a
6 months, $750 over 6 months.
Okay, I don't know. I don't own a house, so I wouldn't know.
I know. I don't want to do it. I'll put it that way. I don't want to do it. It's what am I willing to pay to not do it?
Yeah. No, I have no idea. But either way, you should get a blowjob out of it.
Yeah, but it's a 16-year-old boy. I don't really want that blowjob.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Chris Aiken gets a hand job for a 6-year-old boy. You know what?
Boys are binary.
You know what? Thanks for that. When now I know the new title of the Skull Sessions episode that you're going to be featured on. Chris Aiken gives a hand job to 6-year-old boy.
Perfect.
There you go.
Put it up. I'm for it.
Very cool. Well, all right, gentlemen. I think our manager's calling, huh, Matt? Do you hear the phone ringing?
Manager?
Yeah. I think it's time to get the fuck off.
Yeah, no, beat it.
For the beer, I think that's what it says.
I think it's time for Ozzy Ace to call in.
Yep.
Now beat it.
Guys, we'll be listening on the rest of the night, and I'll talk to you, Chris, on Thursday. And Neely, just email me what days work for you.
I'm home after 5:30 Central and any time on the weekend.
All right, maybe a weekend we could do it here at the new Skull Sessions studio.
Absolutely, it'd be awesome.
All right.
I'll send you an email. All right, gentlemen.
All right, Bob. Well, I'm going to dedicate this song to you and the return of Skull Sessions. Some Black and Blue featuring Jamie St. James.
And Thayer.
As you heat it up and burn it out.
I like it.
All right. Well, here it is. It's Black and Blue. And check out Bob and the return of Skull Sessions. Exclusively here. Where, Bob?
On your classic metal show.
Perfect.